Yate everyone. Hello, my name is Natalie Banali. I am the Program Manager of Performing Arts here at First People's Fund, and I will be going through an application tutorial for a new grant that we are going to be offering this fall for Native Performing Artists. So how exciting. So it's going to be the 2025 Native Performing Arts Production Grant. So just an overview of topics that we're going to cover in this tutorial. So first, we'll give you a little bit of background of the First People's Fund Native Performing Arts Program, which is going to be this grant is part of two new funding opportunities that are a part of this performing arts program that we are creating here. And so then we'll go into the details of the production grant itself. We'll touch base on eligibility requirements and the selection criteria and the selection process, and then just go over a timeline of important dates to keep in mind for this grant, and then how to apply. And then we'll end with my contact information in case you have any questions or just have something that comes up about the things I have to share today. All right, so the new First People's Fund Native Performing Arts Program is designed to support Native performing artists emerging and established in developing and enhancing their artistic skills and knowledge. The program strives to provide Native performing artists more equitable access to the resources they need to enhance their creations and careers. This includes funding, mentoring, financial capability, and business development training aligned with their cultural values. So this is a new program that we started creating this year, and out of this program is the production grant. So I just want to give you guys some information on that. So also something I want to share is the definition of performing arts that we here at First People's Fund created to best represent this program. So Native performing arts is a time-based performance or experience that honors, exposes, educates, challenges, and celebrates the multifaceted stories of Indigenous peoples. Native performing arts centers Indigenous beliefs and values and funding, developing, creating, and presenting performative works. It is a platform for collaboration, discourse, intergenerational engagement, and living resistance, in which Native performing artists from all disciplines of performing arts, such as theater, music, dance, etc., can create innovative work for audiences worldwide. All right, so about the grant itself. So the Native Performing Arts Production Grant, or NPAP for short. So the purpose of this grant is to support Native-led performing arts productions that include multiple Native performers and artists. So the grant offers a 1-year, $30,000 grant to individual Native performing artists or Native-led organizations/businesses with an emphasis on performing arts. So this application will work for you if you are an individual artist who does your own work, or if you are a part of a Native-led organization or for-profit business. The importance there is that your organization and business has to have an emphasis on performance work, supporting performing arts and performing artists. So here is some information about the grant itself. So the Native Performing Arts Production Grant, or NPAP for short, is the purpose of this grant is to support Native-led performing arts productions that include multiple Native performers and artists. This grant offers a 1-year, $30,000 grant to individual Native performing artists or Native-led organizations/businesses with an emphasis on performing arts. So you can either apply on your own as an individual, or if you are part of a Native-led organization or for-profit business, you can apply through that as well. But the Native-led organization or business has to have an emphasis on performing arts. So for example, if you are a Native owned theater company, for example, you can totally apply. Just wanted to give some clarification on the word production. So production means that the artist or artists are actively engaged in the creation of a live piece of work, either in person or virtual. All right. So productions can include things like theatrical plays, Indigenous fashion shows, touring for Native performance groups, performances taking place in Native communities, and other forms of live performance that may not fit into conventional performance categories, things such as music festivals, concerts, and fairs. One important thing I want to note is that any proposed projects or productions that are applying, if you are still in pre-production or in development, those projects will not be considered. So just want to make sure that's very clear that if you are applying for this grant, your production must be in the stage where it is actively being it's going to be made. So anything that's still being worked in development or is in pre-production will not be considered. Okay. The main important thing to note about that is because this is a 1-year grant, so you will have a year to make sure that your production is successful and completed. So that's the reason why anything in pre-development um, just doesn't fit into that timeline. So I just want to make sure that that's very clear. All right. And again, if there's any questions about this, I will give you my contact information at the end, and that way you can ask me any further clarification on that. All right, moving on to eligibility requirements. So applicants must be at least 18 years of age at the time of the application. Applicants must be an enrolled member of or provide proof of lineal descendancy from a U.S. federally recognized or U.S. state recognized tribe, or be able to provide proof of ancestry as an Alaskan Native or Native Hawaiian. So, native practitioners of all performing arts mediums in both traditional and contemporary forms can apply, as well as native-led organizations with emphasis on performing arts are also welcome to apply. So that includes organizations that have a focus on theater, music, dance, spoken word, so many more, of course, that I'm not naming at the moment, but also, again, both in traditional and contemporary forms. And native-led organizations can be nonprofit or for-profit. So that's also very exciting. And then here's more on the application requirements. So any proposed projects, again, must be in the active stage of production, meaning that the budget that you submit must reflect needs that are related to production costs. So here are some examples of production needs to consider for your proposed projects, and this can again include, but are not limited to, costs that are associated with hosting a virtual or in-person gatherings, such as being able to pay for a venue, being able to pay for catering, etc. Being able to pay for AV equipment rental, like such as things as speakers or microphones. Being able to pay artists, artist salaries, contractor fees, rental costs of spaces to use for rehearsals, and being able to pay travel stipends for the artists that are in your production. Being able to hire light and sound engineers to create that are able to create lighting and sound for your production. Working with a tour manager or producer to tour your production is another example. Insurance costs for your talent and venues. I feel like that's a very important one. Advertising online, by print, or on social media for your productions. So again, just a few examples, but these are definitely things that we would consider production costs. So just wanted to make sure that there was some distinction on that. Moving on, artists and organizations may not apply to the same program in succession. So for example, if you are a 2025 NPAP awardee, you will not be eligible to reapply to the NPAP grant again in 2026. And if you are a previous grantee with First Peoples Fund, for example, if you were a artist in business leadership fellow or a cultural capital fellow, you must have submitted a final report for any previously awarded FPF grant. So just want to make sure that you are all aware of that. If you have not submitted a final report, I suggest you get with Fox, who is the program manager of fellowships, to make sure that's taken care of. And then here's just some of the information regarding the selection criteria. So the review panel who are going to be going over the applications will be scoring the applications based on the following key points. So one being production goals. So these are any production goals that are proposed, are clearly defined and achievable within the time frame of the grant. So again, 1 year. The applicant clearly details a plan for accomplishing their production goals through the proposal. And also, please indicate also as well if you have additional funding secured from another source. All right, that is totally okay if you already have funding that was given from another source. We just ask that if you do, just let us know that. Sharing is applicant describes how the proposed production goals will strengthen their artistic practice, producer skills, art business, further the economic self-sufficiency of their work, and or strengthen their community. Again, how does this production that you have going to affect the larger scale of those around you? Knowing, meaning that the work samples that you provide in your application demonstrate that you have an evidence of a practice and a desire to develop yourself further as a performing artist, cultural barrier, artist, entrepreneur, and producer. Proposed production goals will help to grow applicants' artistic practice slash skills, business, and producer knowledge base. And lived experience is the last of the criteria here. That's just if you applicants is a Native artist or Native-led organization who has demonstrated a commitment to their practice, and that applicant can provide a resume detailing a history of work and creative practice. Now, just some details about the selection process for the grant. So, a national review panel will read and score applications in two stages to make the recommendations. And then panelists will score applications based on the selection criteria, as we previously discussed in the last slide, which are production goals, sharing, knowing, and lived experience. And then just some dates to keep in mind, the timeline of the grant. The grant will open up on August 26th, and the application will close on September 23rd at 11:59 Mountain Time. So giving you that window of time to submit an application. And then applicants will be notified of their status in December 2024. And then a public announcement of selected awardees will be shared in January 2025. And then the award year of the grant is from January 1st to December 31st of 2025. All right, so just important dates to keep in your mind. And information on how to apply. So all application links are available on our website under the Performing Arts page. You can click on the link and it will take you to where you need to go. So we use a platform called Submittable, and you will need to have an account registered with them in order to complete and submit your application. So if you've used Submittable before, you can definitely log in using the account that you have, or if not, just create a new one and then you'll be able to submit an application that way. And just best practice, make sure to read through the entire application before starting to fill it out. Make sure to read all the questions and instructions carefully, because there will be things that you will need to upload as well. Just making sure that any files that you are going to upload are you're able to do that successfully. And then if anyone has any issues or challenges submitting the application, please contact me, and I will do my best to make sure that we can figure out how we can make that work for you all. And here is my contact information. So again, I'm Natalie Benali. I am the program manager of Performing Arts. I can be reached by email or phone. Email is natalie@firstpeoplespun.org, and phone is 505-278-0412. If there's any further clarification or just any questions that that you just need to be able to know how to successfully fill out the application, feel free to reach out to me and we'll go from there. And thank you all so much.